So I've spent some time smoothing it out so you guys didn't have to watch me smooth it out. Basically all I did was take a sponge, wring it out, and just start covering those cracks up. And then when I felt like the sponge wasn't doing a good job, I got my hand wet and started smoothing it out with my hand. So I tried to smooth all these little cracks out with my hand. And then the next thing I did was to start to shape it. So if I'm gonna make a pig pot, the bodies are gonna be a little bit longer. So I want to shape it so that way it has the like kind of long body shape that I'm looking for. So I'm trying to make an oval-y shape. So that's why I have it more oval-y now and not so round. However, this is a little too tall for what I'm trying to do. So much like everything in ceramics, it's a point of working and working through problems. And my first problem is that this is too tall. So I'm gonna take my wire cutter and I'm gonna pull it through at the length that I want so that way it is the height that I want. Be really, really careful here, but I am just going to stand over, sorry, that's really loud. And I'm gonna kind of mark where I want it. And then I'm gonna hold with two hands down here and then pull. And then that is a really bad cut, but that's okay. I can start to cut off more until I get it to the right size. But I have all of this extra clay now. This is still good clay. So you guys all have a scrapped clay bag in your bag. Put any of your extra clay in here, but since this clay is still good, meaning it has no air bubbles, I'm gonna keep it in this shape so I know I can still use it, all right? Once we get to scrap clay and like pieces that we're not using, we'll kind of roll it up in a ball so we know not to use that stuff. But this clay right here is still very, very usable. I can use this for legs and the head or a tail or something like that, okay? So we're trying to use all of the resources we have available, so if you can keep the clay in good, just in good quality, keep it. So I put it in my scrap clay bag so it doesn't dry out, and then I'm gonna kind of keep shaving these sides off. Just until I have the right length all the way around. So I'm essentially going to do the same thing, hold it and then pull. There we go. That is a almost even one, still a little wonky looking, that's fine, not completely even. We'll smooth it out and get there. But basically I just needed a rough cut on the top. I'm removing the clay off of this, that's how you remove it. I just gave it a rough cut on the top to get rid of that length that I did not want. Okay, so now it has more of the height that I was looking for. And I'm gonna just continue to smooth it out and get it into a place where I'm happy with how the body looks. So that way I can attach a head here, legs here, and a tail here. So I'm gonna continue to do that. That's a pretty good thickness. I usually, especially at home when you can't actually measure it, I usually say about the pinky is the max width you want it. You can go a little thicker, but if it's gonna be supported on these little coil legs, you're gonna want it to be not so heavy. So I'm probably gonna try to thin mine out a little bit, and I'm just gonna do that really by pinching and manipulating the form. So again, I'm going back to that pinch technique, that first technique that we ever learned, and trying to widen it and thin it out. And then I can always cut more from the top if I thin it out and it goes too tall again. So again, I'm just pinching around, trying to keep that oval form, but also thinning it out so it's not so thick and heavy. I'll definitely need to cut it again. It's really uneven, but that is totally fine. But now it's a thinness that I feel a little bit better about. So like that thinness, I'm more happy with. I'm gonna get this side even with it. I just wanted to show you about the thickness that I'm trying to get. I would not go any thicker than that because that's when it starts, or thinner, sorry. That's when it starts to get a little bit wonky and a little bit scary if it's gonna survive or not. So I'm gonna have to make this even by doing some more cutting, which is fine. I just am trying to get the right body shape, and that's kind of like an oval shape for me that I want. You also have a pin tool, and I'm gonna use that to cut these little pieces now. So hopefully you guys all remember what your pin tools look like. And I'm just gonna start cutting through. Again, I'm just going for a rough cut, so I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm just trying to get it somewhat level, which it still is not. So I'm just gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep trying to pull away clay until I can get it to a place where I feel like it's almost level. I'm just kind of shaving off right now. And then I can worry about it looking pretty and even all the way around after I get it to the right height. All right, so again, it's still a rough cut, but it's definitely getting more closer to the body shape that I want. And I'm just gonna keep fixing it. After you do cuts, you wanna kind of blend it out and see how it looks and if you like the shape of it. And then I'm pretty happy with the height now. So I'm gonna try to shape it in. Again, I'm doing lots of pinching, lots of blending. And yours is gonna be different depending on the animal that you're making. But I just want you guys to see that like it's a process. You're gonna have to do a lot of adding, a lot of subtracting to get to where you wanna be. And then once you get the shape right, you're just gonna work on making it as smooth and pretty as you can with either your sponge or your finger or however you would like to do that. You're just trying to get it smooth and even so that way you can then begin to start shaping a head and adding legs and a tail and all that. So again, I'm not gonna make you guys watch me blend for the next 10 minutes, but that's what I'm gonna be doing.